Welcome to week 2 of Screw the fake vampire teeth, it's not gonna work. Welcome to week 2 of Strangetober, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the latest retro review as well. I am your host, the Strange Monkey. And today we're going to be talking about 1987's The Lost Boys, directed by Joel Schumacher, the same guy who directed Batman and Robin, the greatest superhero film of all time. This is one of the best films of the 1980s, and, in my opinion, the greatest vampire film of all time. Some people are saying, some of you would say, Strange Monkey, what are you talking about? What about the original? What about Dracula, or Nosferatu, or blah, blah, blah? You know, I prefer The Lost Boys. Movies like Fright Night, Near Dark, you know. But I do like Dracula, even like the remake. But we're not here to talk about Dracula. So let's jump right into it, shall we? Teenage brothers Michael and Sam move with their mother to a small town in Northern California. While the younger Sam meets a pair of kindred spirits in geeky comic book nerds, Edward and Alan Frog, the angst-ridden Michael soon falls for Star, who turns out to be enthralled to David, the leader of a local gang of vampires. Sam and his new friends must save Michael and Star from the undead. So there you have it, folks. I have a special guest today. My pal, Tony Crespo, the good-for-nothing Rascals, or he has a podcast named We Come in Peace. So, take it away, Tony.
What up, guys? This is Tony from We Come in Peace, and I'm joining the Strange Monkey in his review of The Lost Boys. Me and the Strange Monkey, we've been talking a whole bunch for like a year straight about collaborating in some kind of review, of whether it's my love for Halloween Resurrection, which I do love. It's a really shitty movie, and you guys should like it too, because it's shitty in all the best ways. But we wanted to collaborate on like a film review and talk about a movie that, you know, we both have like a love for. And for me, like when he approached me about reviewing The Lost Boys, I had to say yes, because The Lost Boys is 100% one of the greatest vampire films of all time. It's true, it is. It's up there with Fright Night for me. It's Fright Night and The Lost Boys, and then maybe Near Dark, and then maybe some of the Hammer films with Christopher Lee. I love those films too, but there's something about The Lost Boys that's so magical, so different, so fucking weird, and it's really the fact that Joel Schumacher and the cast hone in on the over-the-top cheesiness of this all. It feels like you're reading a comic book. I mean, it's so melodramatic, it's so crazy. At some points, it even feels like a Sam Raimi movie. This is when Joel Schumacher was on the top of his game, you know? I mean, you got Tim Capello, oily, playing the fucking saxophone. I still believe, and I know you do too. You got Kiefer Sutherland in there, you know, saying Michael about 200 times. Michael. I sort of like Kiefer, you know, this era going on. But anyway, and that's The Lost Boys playing in the back, if you can see right there. You probably can't because it's fucking flushed out by the brightness. But right now it's Corey Haim in the comic book shop talking to the Frog Brothers. But it's really one of the best vampire movies. It's one of my favorite horror films, and it's not even necessarily scary. There are some genuinely like creepy moments in it. But what makes The Lost Boys so good is that it's just so much fun. It's one of the most fun movies you'll watch. You watch this with a crowd of like friends and stuff. You laugh at things that are unintentionally funny. You laugh at the things that are intentionally funny. Who doesn't drive around in their car at night listening to Cry Little Sister? Okay, I do. I do like every day. I listen to Cry Little Sister, and I still believe in Lost in the Shadows. I have the whole Lost Boys soundtrack I listen to every night. Alright, it helps me feel good. It makes me, like, you know, feel good about myself. I connect with the music and everything. If you're an Ultra fan like I am, make sure you pick up the graphic novel by Vertigo. It's fantastic. And you can pick it up, it's like $10 or $14 or whatever. and it's truly, truly awesome. It's a sequel to the movie. It picks up right where the movie left off, about a week or two after the events of the first film. It has some great art. The characters are exactly the way you remember them. And really, if there was a sequel that came out in maybe 88, 89, it would play out 100% like the graphic novel. Great 80s movie. Like, if you wanted a representation of what the 80s is, you could look at The Lost Boys and go, oh, this thing's like ultra 80s. You got the dangling earrings, you got the crop tops, you got the tight shirts, the leather jackets, the mopeds. I could talk about The Lost Boys for hours. In fact, when I'm done, I'm just going to talk to myself about The Lost Boys for hours. I'm probably just going to go in my car right now. I'm going to drive and listen to Cry Little Sister or Lost in the Shadows or I Still Believe. I'm just going to drive and I'm going to cry. I'm going to cry and I'm going to listen to this song and tears are going to be streaming down. I don't know what I'd be crying about. Maybe just the beauty of this movie. Have you ever thought about, like, the gayness of the Lost Boys, though? Because I think Michael wanted to fuck David. Or maybe it was David that wanted to fuck Michael. It was definitely David that wanted to fuck Michael. Because Star was definitely into Michael, but, like, David was, like, he was always moaning his name. And I always thought that was weird. The Lost Boys is fantastic, and you're crazy if you don't like it. Back to you, Strange Monkey. Thank you for having me on your review and the channel. It's awesome. And I hope to be joining you again soon. Alright, guys? Make sure you watch The Lost Boys, buy the soundtrack, and shout out to my boy, OJ Simpson. I love him.
Thank you so much, Tony. And if you want to check out his channel, it's in the description. Please check it out. He's a really cool guy. His podcast is the shit. You need to do that. Hurry up. Here are some quick facts about The Lost Boys. Ben Stiller was almost in this movie. I don't know who he was going to play. I can see him playing Michael with the curly long hair. I can't see him as a vampire. That would be too ridiculous. The town of Santa Carla does not exist in California. What? You mean to tell me that there are no vampires in California? That's ridiculous. Or are there? The film inspired the show Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Well, I mean, I can see some of the similarities, like the way the vampires' faces are when they transform, you know, the transition from human to vampire, and, you know, some of the action scenes, they're pretty cool, you know. Buffy the Vampire Slayer was a badass show, but I prefer the movie a little bit more. Why do I like this film? Well, because there are likable characters, some badass kills, and the vampires are memorable. They're one of the greatest vampires in cinema history. The role of David was played perfectly by Kiefer Sutherland. He was one of the best vampires in any horror movie. And there you have it, folks. Thank you so much for watching this retro review. We have a lot more Strangetober coming at you this month. Check out Tony's channel, and check out my Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. And have yourselves a good fright. They're only noodles, Michael.